If you're looking to buy a vacation rental property and are having a little bit of difficulty figuring out how much rent the property can bring in, we've found a tool that should work well for you, and it's called Mashvisor. In this video, we're actually going to dig down and give a beginner's guide on how to use the software. We have also done a previous video on just introduction to Mashvisor, so check out our other videos if you're interested in learning more about the product. So here we go, and we'll dig into this software. Mashvisor is an excellent tool for someone looking to analyze vacation rental properties. In this video, we're going to dive into that product and give you kind of a beginner's guide on how to use it so you can navigate through it a little bit quicker, maybe learn a few tips along the way on how to make your research more efficient, and hopefully help you make a better decision when selecting a property. So here we go into this picture-in-picture, and we're going to dive into this software right now. Okay, so we are now on the Mashvisor website. There's a few things I want to show you about this site, just some basically getting around on the site. You can start up here with search properties. There is location search, and you can search a map. So if you click that, it brings you into a map view, such as this. This is actually Orlando, Florida. I did a search for that a little bit ago just to kind of see what would come up. Just maybe use that for this video. So you can just type in the location you want to look at, and it'll take you right to that area. There are also a few other features here. Search property finder. So if we click on property finder, you can choose cities. So maybe I want Orlando, and I also want Kissimmee, Florida, which is right next to Disney World. You can determine your budget. Maybe let's say we're looking anything under, I don't know, 900,000. You can set your rental strategy right here to traditional, Airbnb, or all. If you're looking for specific types of properties, you can look at single family, residential, multifamily, condo, co-op, or other. You can designate number of bedrooms. Let's just say at least one and at least one, and it will give you choices here, and then you can take a look at them and see, is it something I'm interested in or is it not? It gives you a list price, it gives you a little picture, estimated value of the property. I believe they pulled that estimated value from Redfin. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that when I was looking through some listings yesterday. So then down here on the bottom, it actually gives you cash on cash. If you traditionally rent it or Airbnb rent it, just gives you an idea on if the value's there for using your money. You can use that cash on cash analysis to determine if it's something that you want to rent or buy to rent or not. So if I were to click on this, it would actually open it up in another window. This is kind of like Mashvisor's version of the listing that they would pull off of like realtor.com. You can look here now, and it gives you estimated rental for Airbnb, estimated rental in a traditional rental situation. It gives you estimated expenses, cash flow. It gives you your cash on cash percentage and your cap rate. So you can get a rough idea on if it's a good investment or not. Again, these are all estimates, so don't take it as 100% dead on, but it should get you at least kind of in the ballpark of knowing if these properties are good or not. Payback balance over 10 years. They give you what else do they have down here? even tells you days on market. So it's pulling stuff straight from the MLS, from realtor.com. Over here you have some Zillow stats on tax assessments and how much property taxes were in past years. Rental strategy, so you can actually change these numbers. Let's say you think that you can get $2,800 a month traditional. Maybe Airbnb, or you think this is a little off, the $4,898. Maybe you think you can get $5,500. It'll adjust everything for you then. So, and we're going to get into this here a little bit. I'm going to analyze a few what I would consider drawbacks to this program, and why they're drawbacks. And you can see that even if there are some limitations, you can come in and make some adjustments and get an idea on the investment value, placing those adjustments in. Now you can also get your monthly expenses in here. So if you know the insurance is off, they say $91 a month, you can adjust that. Utilities, if you know those are off, any of these things, HOA, you can add in more numbers here, and it will recalculate everything. It'll put that in up in here in this cash flow. It would put the deductions into the monthly expenses, and so you can actually see those numbers change. So I think that's a really nice feature to this program, that you can make adjustments to it. You can even add a custom expense, whatever that may be. So there are options. Now down here in the bottom, you have a payback balance table. It gives you years. You can set a range here, as you can see, and it'll tell you your balance as you go forward, depending on if you do traditional rental or Airbnb. They also have some links to some other sites, this Realm, which will give you an idea on upgrades to the home to increase the value, and then some other properties in the area. So you can kind of get an idea as to what is involved with each listing, and kind of it should give you a better idea of if it's a good investment or not. There's ways to save the home into this program. You can actually click this here and look at the original listing, and it should bring up realtor.com. Yes, it does. And you can see how it looks on realtor.com. You're getting basically the same information, but it takes it straight to the source. So that is a really nice feature. You can also download, share it. You can make notes about property, even color code them. So you have some nice features that are built into this, that I definitely think you can use, that will help you in this process. So then let's say if you like the property, you can click a green check mark. If you don't like it, you click the X, and it just kicks it right out of your list, and you can just come right on down through here and look at all these properties, and it'll give you an idea as to what you like, what you don't like, and kind of what's available in your price range. See, there's here's save properties, save alerts. So if you're looking for a specific type of property in a specific zip code, neighborhood, address, you can set that, and it'll actually send you an email immediately or daily or weekly when those properties become available. That's a really nice feature, actually, because it'll help you keep on top of things. So we're going to X out of that. Now, the way I like to use this actually is just by using the map. We're looking for a property in Florida, actually, in a different part of Florida than Orlando. And I kind of have a general idea of where we want to be, but I don't have real set parameters of which city exactly. So one nice thing about the map feature is I can actually just scroll the map around in the areas I'm looking, and as I do so, it'll repopulate the map with things that are for sale. So it's really nice. You can just keep scrolling. New properties will pop up on the screen, and if I wanted to look at that property, I can just click on it, and it brings that same listing screen up, and I can analyze the numbers and see really what kind of numbers we're digging into here to see if there's value there. So that is a really nice feature, and it's kind of handy to use that way. Um, as you can see right here, before I go too much further, there are some tabs on this right panel. Investment. So investment tab would be anything that is actually listed for sale right now on realtor.com. All right. So then you also have an Airbnb tab. So this will switch over to Airbnb listings in that area. So as you can see right now, it brings up numbers with a circle. That means there's a bunch of listings really tightly centered in that area. If I were to zoom in, it would pop those out, and you can actually see each listing. Now, the nice thing about this is you can see what is renting, what an area is renting for really easily. You don't have to leave and go into Airbnb's site. If you click on these, it actually opens up the Airbnb listing. You can take a look at the pictures. You can see what amenities they offer. So it'll give you a nice idea if it's a comparable to what you're looking to purchase or not. So that's a nice feature. And as I keep scrolling, they'll keep popping up. And I can really search an area of a map. I can look at the roads even and see, do I want to be on this busy of a street? Do I want to be in this type of neighborhood? Maybe it's a subdivision, maybe it's a golf community. I can get a really good idea as to what is available in real specific areas. Very nice feature. They also have traditional rentals. Now these, there's not as many of these populated onto the map. As you can see, they're a little more sparse. This area right here tends to have a bunch of them. It says 121. So you can see, and then you can click on these. I'm actually not sure where this takes you. If I click on that, it's not doing anything. If I click on the listing along the right side of the screen, it just brings up a generic page. So I'm not sure where they're pulling the traditional renting data from. I'm personally not looking for traditional rental, so and I think most people that would be looking at this video are more looking towards the short-term rental investments. So we're going to focus on that part. So if I were to be looking, let's say Disney World, we're going to just do a sample search here. I'm going to do Disney World. Orlando, Florida. I'm assuming there's a lot of rentals around this area. Very, very popular place to travel to. May have to get out a little bit from actual Disney property to see. I see a 940 right here. I know Bay Lake is on Disney, so that this looks like Epcot Center right here. So let's get out here, like Buena Vista. Here's a bunch of them. So these are all Airbnb listings currently out there. You could go rent these right now. And so we're going to dive into this a little bit and just take a look at what is the information it's telling us. Is it useful to what we're looking for and things like that. So starting off with this right panel, it's a quick, easy way to see what is kind of in the screen's vicinity. One thing I wish it would do that you get when you look at like Zillow and realtor.com is if you hover over the listings, I wish it would highlight them on the map so I could just see which one of these blue and red dots it's talking about. It doesn't do that, so that would be a nice feature for them to add in the future to help with just a quick analysis of the properties, because here there's a lot of rentals. If you're looking at a place where there's not quite as many, it would be really nice to hover and say, oh, that's on this street right here. I'm looking at a property just down the road. And you might be able to get a better idea as if it's a comparable property to what you're looking for. So um, one nice thing, the one thing I like to do is I actually like to sort by rental income. So we're looking for a house that is near the beach. A few specific things we're looking at. We have a price range we're looking at. But we're also looking for something that has a pool directly out the back, and preferably that pool would be screened in. A lot of the Florida pools are screened in. We'd like our pool to have that. So those are a few features we're looking for. So when I'm looking for my property to purchase, I actually kind of zoomed into the area I was at, and I sorted by estimated rental income. And then what I did was I kind of scanned down through the rental listings they have, and I tried to find properties that look similar to what I want to buy. And by doing so, I think I got a pretty accurate idea of what that type of property will rent for in that area. So, if I'm looking for maybe a 6-bedroom, 5-bath pool near Disney Paradise Palms, this would be an expensive house, I'm sure. But it says it will rent for $7,700 a month. And then I can come in and take a look at the listing. What does it have? Oh, okay, I see we have a pool, nice bar area. So there's some common areas. It looks like maybe a condo, a townhouse type of property. And then I can take that information I just got and compare it to what I'm shopping for house-wise to see if that is something that will be comparable, to get an idea, can I get that kind of rent for my property? Then I can take the information and figure out, is this a good investment for me or not? So that is how I use this Airbnb section over here. There are other ways to sort. You can sort by price. You can sort by bedrooms, bath, occupancy levels. That's a nice feature too. So you can find, okay, this one's 85% full. That I'd like to have 85% occupancy. So maybe look for something in that area or something that compares to that. So there's a lot of information you can draw from this side panel here. You can also limit your search. You might only be able to do that with the investments. Yeah, you can only do that with investments. Okay. So let's say we're looking now for an investment property. We kind of got an idea on the rent. We would want to set our budget. So you can set a minimum and a maximum. I don't know what properties actually sell for in Orlando area right now. I'm sure they are not cheap. Let's go 900,000 and just see what happens here. And then you can actually set other filters. You want 2 bedrooms at least, and at least probably, let's say 2 baths. You can actually set how much traditional rent income is your limit, and they'll cut out, if you set it at $2,000, they will cut out anything that they don't think you can get $2,000 a month for. Same thing with the Airbnb rental limit. Now, I don't recommend setting this, and I'll explain why here in a minute, but it has to do with how they estimate rental income, and it's a little feature that I actually think needs a little bit of work. So we'll cover that here towards the end of the video. But you can actually also select property type, single family, townhouse, multifamily, condo, co-op, and other. Even select neighborhoods. You also can select for sale or pending. I don't want to see any pending because there's a good chance, especially in the market that we're in right now, the pendings, a lot of things are being bought cash, and the pendings probably are going to go sold. So by sorting those out, we can get an idea of what properties are available. Now, just on my screen, I only see 2. So let's take a look at these 2. Here's 309,000. Not sure what this will be, but it says you can get on Airbnb roughly $1,700 a month. Traditional rental $1,500 a month. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath in some sort of tower on the 10th floor. Pretty close to Disney World, but just depends on if that's something that you'd be looking for or not. Same building, and they give you the same rental estimate. So, and I can just drag around, and I can see, and as I drag, well, I might have to zoom out a little bit because there's not a whole lot of properties available with the criteria I put. So we'll let this repopulate here. It's loading, and there we go. I know Celebration, Florida is kind of a planned community. Let's take a look at that area, see what's available down here. You can sort by price, square feet, all this different things, and what they estimate your Airbnb rental can be. So let's just say that, since we put a limit on our price. So these sorted by Airbnb rental, you can click on them then, get an idea. This one they estimate will rent for $4,300 a month. So you have to then decide, is that worth the $400,000 price or not? Gives you the cash on cash, gives you the cap rate, the cash flow, and again, all that is based on the parameters that are set down here below that we talked about earlier when I was kind of showing you how the whole program works. Okay, so back to where we were. We were looking down here at Celebration. So I'm zoomed out a little bit further than I just was. Again, right panel, all this information over here. One thing I didn't say is a nice feature is if you click on the picture, it brings up a pop-out screen. You can look at all this stuff quickly, look at it. It brings in $2,300 a month, or a month for a $425,000 investment. Not sure I want that. I can close that. I can look at the next one. This one, $4,300 a month for a similar investment. So that's a little bit better. Maybe I want to save that. So I think this right panel is very helpful in your search. And again, as you drag, it will repopulate that right panel with new properties as they come closer to the center of your screen. There's minor changes you'll see as we keep moving. If I scroll over here, these will should all disappear, and hopefully we get some new ones as we wait. So yeah, there's a few new ones that, they repopulated on the right side. So now you can see, this Kissimmee area, roughly $3,000 a month on a $349,000 purchase. So that's really how you use it. Again, these are all cash. I have these on the cash purchases. You can actually click the mortgage and then put in the loan type and everything. If that's the situation you're in, I would encourage you to do that. If you're using this, it'll give you some better numbers. But it really seems to be a very nice program. There are a few drawbacks in the program that I don't love. But I've looked at the competition, and we'll probably review some of the competition here coming up in future videos. But the problem with the competition is they're very expensive. One of which you only get like one zip code, and it is extremely expensive. And for me personally, I wasn't looking in just one zip code. I guess if you are, that's not a horrible thing. But if I were to add a bunch of zip codes, it would get really costly really fast. I was kind of looking for something that was a little more national, because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to look. We have also talked about looking at property in Montana and other areas out in the western US. And so I was just curious, what those properties would show. So this Mashvisor really intrigued me. Um, I've been kind of digging into it for about 2 days now, and so that's some of the stuff I've seen. I want to show you one other feature here, and that is this heat map data set. This is a nice feature. You can set a heat map on, like an overlay on your map, um, using these parameters that are alongside of the screen here in this drop down box. Traditional cash on cash return, Airbnb cash on cash return, Airbnb rental income, traditional rental income, listing price, and Airbnb occupancy rate. So if I wanted to see what the occupancy rate is for certain areas, I can click that, and it gives you this nice color coded area map, and it'll show you what areas are renting well on Airbnb and having a high occupancy rate. Which, if you're in the short-term rentals, that's what you're looking for. You want to keep that thing as full as possible to keep those rents coming in. So it's really nice to do. You can also switch it. I like looking at the Airbnb rental income map. Excuse me. Um, and it gives you a really nice map here, showing the incomes. The green in this map, the darkest green, is $5,800 a month, and it goes down to $1,200 a month in the darkest red area. So, and if I scroll the map, those numbers change. You can see it went to 5,400. I don't know the rental areas extremely well in Orlando, other than I'm assuming a ride around Disney World is the big attraction. So the closer to that, the better for rental income, and I would assume occupancy levels would go right along with that. So that is a really nice feature that that this program has. So you can see the software can be a very helpful tool. It's not going to have all the answers, but none of the competitors do either. I've checked into them a little bit, test drove the other competitors as well. They all have limitations. You will definitely still have to do a little bit of research on your own, but it is a tool that should shorten down the research time significantly. Like I said, there are some drawbacks. Nothing's flawless. I think some of the data might be it might be hard for them to estimate, just because they don't know if the property is being used by the actual owner of the property, or if it's rented or not. So the income could be different depending on how the owner is using it. Some people, I'm sure, utilize their property as personal use as well as rental use. And so if those dates are blocked off in a calendar, they may be estimating that those are actually occupied nights by guests, which then could overinflate the rental income a little bit. So, there's no way for any of these websites to know if someone's using it for themselves or not. If you block off the dates, I'm sure they just assume that they have guests there. It could have just been someone they know, as opposed to someone who books it through like Airbnb. So although it does shorten your research time down, you still have to do a little bit of legwork yourself as well, just to be extra prudent. We own a condo in Florida on the Panhandle, and the estimate that I get for our condo is not accurate, I believe, because we're not directly on a condo tower that's on the beach. We're just a little bit off. I can see the water, but we're just a little bit set back on the same property and everything. And I believe that they're pulling stats from the beachfront places, and so things like that can skew it a little bit. You really, I think the best way to do it is search multiple properties that are similar to yours, maybe a little bit different areas, but kind of the same vicinity, maybe a couple streets over. So that way it's maybe not pulling, those geographical features such as waterfront and thinking that all these properties are going to rent the same, and they're really just being skewed by a property that has an exceptional view or some kind of other feature that makes it worth or much more desirable to stay at. So keeping those things in mind, as long as you realize that it's not exactly dead on accurate. It's just an estimate. I think that it is definitely a tool that will help you. It's helped me already. I can I have an idea if the area we're looking for right now is good or not. I think that the information I'm getting from it is pretty good because I've kind of tried to cross-reference it with my own searches in VRBO and in Airbnb. I look at people's calendars. I look at their rates, and I try to evaluate how booked is it, how booked in advance is it, and what are the prices at specific times of the year. And I'll check, a few days here, a few days there, each month, see what the rates are. If I do almost like a simulated booking, I'll see, if I wanted 4 nights in November, how much is it going to cost? And then I'll check 4 nights in December or 5 nights, whatever it is. I look at, because some of them have minimum stays, but I look at the cost per night and see how it varies. And then that information will tell me about how much money they can get in those months. I look at the calendar, see how booked it is, and then I can kind of evaluate, are the rates too high or low? Are they getting advanced bookings? And it helps me learn if the information I'm drawing from Mashvisor is accurate or not. So I recommend, if you do use Mashvisor, it does not hurt to do a little bit of research on your own. You don't have to dig into every single property out there like Mashvisor does, but pick and choose a few. Find some that have similar features to what you want to buy. Maybe similar vicinity, check neighborhoods or that type of thing, and see if you can get something that kind of supports the data you were seeing. I always look, when I look in people's calendars, I like to look at the type of bookings. If they have whole months blocked off at a time, it may be either a long-term renter, maybe at certain seasons they rent 3 or 4 months to the same person, or maybe they're using it for 3 or 4 months. So I look at that, and you'll see those a lot, especially popular warm destinations in the wintertime. You're going to see where maybe mid-December or even the beginning of January it's booked, and there's not a free date until March, or it could vary a little bit. But if you see that, you can assume that either they're using it or they have a long-term rental. And if you don't see that, you see 2 weeks, then a week off, or 3 days off, or spaces in between their bookings, then it's pretty safe to assume those are actually short-term rentals and not just them blocking it off for themselves. They could be doing that, but I don't know. That's the only way you can really. I think you just have to assume they're not, to get if you want to get accurate information. There's no way to know. So that's how I do it, and it works. That's how we did it when we bought our last property, and it was very effective. And that's how we're doing it right now. And so far, I think that we're on the right track. We have to sell our current condo first, or we're not going to buy another one. But the research is going well on it, and I have a very good idea of the neighborhoods and areas that I want to look to purchase in once we are ready to do so. So, keeping all that in mind, I just wanted to give you this beginner's guide into how to use Mashvisor so that you're able to use it efficiently. If you're interested, we will provide an affiliate link down in the description. That'll take you straight to Mashvisor's site. It should give you, I don't know what their current deal is right now. I think it's maybe 15-day free trial. It'll give you some kind of deal. It'll be a discount. It'll be a trial. Something will be offered when you use that affiliate link down there. Just keep in mind that it is an affiliate link, so we get if you decide to subscribe to Mashvisor, which, like I said, we highly recommend. We've done it. It's great. If you do decide to subscribe, we will get a small percentage of money paid back to us as a referral. It doesn't cost you any more to use that, and we really appreciate the support when people use those links, because it is what helps us be able to do what we do, and continue to help people with their vacation rental businesses. So thank you for watching, and there'll be a couple links here on the screen. We would love for you to continue watching more of our videos where we give you more great information about rentals and vacation rentals specifically. And we'd love to have any comments down below. If you have any questions, please ask, and hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks. My goodness.